Welcome to the English Story Learning Hub. Please don't miss to subscribe and like this channel for more interesting English stories. Today, I'm about to share a powerful story, one that has the potential to completely change the way you look at your problems and your everyday struggles. This isn't just any story. It's a reminder we often forget. It's about a young boy who believed that the weight of his problems was far too heavy for him to carry. Yet he had no idea that the truth was something entirely different. Because in life, most of the problems that look huge are not actually huge at all. And the solutions we keep searching for are usually right in front of our eyes, waiting to be noticed. By the time you reach the end of this story, you'll see this truth unfold clearly, almost as if it was meant just for you. So take a deep breath, relax, and stay with me till the very end, because this little journey might shift something inside you. Once upon a time, in a quiet little village surrounded by bright green fields and gentle breezes, there lived a young boy named Arav. Arav was smart, sharp, and full of potential. But he had one habit that constantly held him back. He worried, a lot. Even the tiniest issue appeared like a giant mountain in front of him. If the weather became too hot, Arav would frown and say, "How can anyone do anything in this heat?" And whenever his teacher gave him homework, he immediately complained, "This is impossible! Who can finish all of this?" If his mother ever asked him to help with even the smallest chore, Arav would grumble under his breath, "Why is everything so hard for me?" And as the days passed, his complaints only grew louder and more frequent. Slowly, the people around him began to step away. After all, no one enjoys spending time with someone who only notices problems and speaks with negativity. One quiet evening, after listening to Arav sigh and complain for the 100th time, his father finally had enough. He gently called out, "Arav, come with me. There's something I want to show you." Without asking questions, Arav followed his father. They walked for quite some time, past the village huts, past the dusty road, until they reached a calm pond resting at the edge of the village. The water was still, silent, and peaceful, reflecting the faint colors of the evening sky. Arav's father reached into his pocket and handed him a small handful of salt. He said, "Throw it into the pond." Arav shrugged and tossed the salt into the water. The ripples spread across the pond's surface. Then his father said, "Now, bend down and taste the water." Confused, Arav leaned forward, scooped a little water with his hand, and tasted it. The moment it touched his tongue, he spat it out and shook his head. "It's so bitter," he exclaimed. His father simply nodded, saying nothing. Then he reached into his bag and handed Arav another handful of salt, this time even larger than before. Without a word, he guided Arav toward the wide flowing river nearby. The gentle sound of rushing water filled the air. He instructed, "Now, throw it in here." Arav did as he was told. The salt disappeared instantly into the strong current. "Now, taste the water," his father said calmly. Arav scooped some river water with his hands, took a sip, and blinked in surprise. He said, "It tastes fresh. I can't taste the salt at all." A soft smile spread across his father's face. He said beautifully, "My son, life's problems are exactly like that salt. They will always exist, and their amount rarely changes. But how deeply they trouble you depends on the size of your heart." He pointed at the pond behind them. If your heart stays small like that pond, every little problem will make your whole life taste bitter. But if you learn to grow your heart, be patient, accepting, and understanding, then even the same problems won't disturb you. Just like the river, you will barely feel their bitterness. Those words sank into Arav's mind like seeds planted in soft soil. For the first time, he realized that the world might not be as harsh as he always believed. Maybe the real problem wasn't life, but the way he was choosing to see it. That night, as Arav lay in bed staring at the ceiling, his mind kept replaying the image of the pond and the river. Their meanings echoed louder than ever. If I keep my heart small like that pond, I'll suffer over every little thing, he whispered to himself. But if I learn to become like the river, I can face anything life throws at me. The next morning, Arav made a quiet promise to himself. He would change, not all at once, but step by step. When his teacher gave him extra homework, his old self would have complained immediately. But this time, he took a deep breath and told himself, "This is my chance to improve. This is how I grow." When his mother asked him to carry heavy buckets of water, instead of muttering and rolling his eyes, he smiled softly and thought, "This will make me stronger, physically and inside my heart." Even when the sun beat down harshly on his back and sweat dripped down his face, instead of groaning, he said in his mind, "This is just another small test. I am becoming the river. I can handle this." At the beginning, things weren't easy at all. The old habit of complaining kept pulling Arav back again and again. But every single time his father's words echoed in his mind, he gathered himself, took a deep breath, and pushed forward with a little more strength. Weeks slowly turned into months. And then something truly beautiful began to happen. Arav started to transform from the inside. He was no longer the same boy who broke down over every tiny problem. A new calmness, a quiet confidence started growing within him. People around him noticed this change. His friends suddenly enjoyed being with him more than ever. His teacher praised him in front of the whole class for his patience and maturity. His parents were proud, prouder than words could express. But the most important change was inside Arav's own heart. He felt lighter, more peaceful, as if the heaviness he once carried had quietly melted away. Of course, life didn't stop testing him. Storms still came. Tough exams, tiring chores, unexpected problems. But this time, he didn't feel crushed by them. He didn't drown. Instead, he flowed, just like the river, carrying every challenge with gentle strength. One evening, as the sun dipped behind the hills and painted the sky with soft colors, Arav sat by the riverside. The water moved endlessly in front of him, carrying leaves, twigs, and tiny stones without ever stopping. He watched it for a long moment, then smiled softly and whispered, "Every problem in life has a simple solution." It was never about removing the salt. It was always about becoming the river. So, my friends, remember this carefully. Life will always place challenges in your path. Some days will feel heavy. Some nights will seem endless, as if dawn will never come. But the solution is not to complain, not to escape, not to hide. The real answer is to expand yourself, to grow your heart, to become stronger and calmer from within. Because the truth is beautifully simple. Problems don't become small on their own, we become bigger. And when we grow, those same problems that once felt impossible suddenly become manageable, almost tiny. So whenever you feel stuck, confused, or overwhelmed, pause for a moment and ask yourself, right now, am I acting like the pond, or am I choosing to be the river? Keep learning, keep growing, and I'll meet you again in the next story.